Hello everyone and welcome. I'm Merlin1977. Nice to have you here. If you saw my post on Reddit and have linked to this video from there, welcome. If you've just stumbled upon this video from YouTube and are wondering what this is all about, welcome as well. Nice to have you here. So what is this all about? Well, it's long been thought that the upgrade modules in No Man's Sky are based on your save game seed, and it's that seed that determines the stats for your upgrade modules. But that is in fact incorrect. If you are unfamiliar with the save seed, basically when you start a new save game, you are given a seed, essentially a hexadecimal number. And that seed determines how you are given things in your game. As I'll show you in this video, your save game seed does not determine the stats of the modules that you get. All upgrade modules in the game have fixed stats. And not only that, they can be shared with other players, so they too can use the same exact modules that you find. So first let me show you the end result of a few days of testing this and what I discovered. So let me get into my ship. So I have a number of X-class modules installed. Now if you know anything about X-class modules, they are incredibly difficult to get good stats on. So these modules that I have here are all max stat X class modules. This is a 38% shield. This is a 38% shield. This is also maxed out 38% shield. The S class shield maxes out at 30%. So having 6 of these with an extra 8% shield strength gives you what, an extra 48% shield strength. Also, if you take a look at my hyperdrive range, I'm at a little over 3,500, and that's because I have these 3 or 6 total X-class hyperdrive shields. This gives me 298 light years. Actually, all 3 of them do. And I have 6 of these. So if you are running an exotic like I am, you're gonna get a 65% boost to hyperdrive, and you're gonna get around 3,500 or so hyperdrive range with these 6 modules. If you're flying an explorer type ship, that has a built-in 80% boost to hyperdrive, and you could most likely get over 4,000 light years from that one ship using these 6 modules. So these are 2 sets of the modules that I use. I do also have an almost maxed positron ejector. The only difference is the fire rate, I believe, maxes out at 20%, so I'm still looking for the 20, 20, and 4% damage. So that's those. So that's it for the Starship weapon. I have some multi-tool X-class. In terms of scanner, I found a fauna that gives me 10,600 with a 33% scanner rate. I did find another X-class scanner module that gave me both over 10,600, but it didn't have the 33% scan radius. So right now I'm just running 3 of these. Let's see, I think I have something in my exosuit. Oh yeah, the defense system, the shield, the personal shield. These are all 3 X-class. And these are all maxed out. 94 seems to be the highest, 94% shield strength, and core health at 33%. So essentially, everyone actually who's watching this video can get these same exact modules that I have. And I'm going to show you how to do all of that shortly. But before I do, let me just state that this will only work on PC. because we will be using the save game editor to obtain specific module information, which makes all of this work. Unfortunately, there's no other way, as most of the X-Class modules have really awful stats, and you're going to need to acquire millions of nanites to roll the X-Class modules to get anything good, realistically. If you wanted to do this within the game rules, it would cost you probably millions of nanites. It would, time-wise, you're probably looking at months, if not years, if you're ever going to get any of these X-Class modules to have anything good. So I want to show you exactly how to get these exact same modules that I have, because these modules have fixed stats, which is probably what brought you to my video. Now, it's important to make one distinction here. The Starship Shield modules that I have are, as I said, max stats, but they are 6 different individual modules, and they all obviously have different names. So this one is called the Outlawed Bionic Shield, this is Illegal Vector Buffer, Risky Vector, and then the other 3 that I have, Pirate Bionic, Risky Lighting. So these 6 all have different names, which make them different modules. In comparison, my hyperdrive module is one specific module that I've used 6 times, as evidenced by all the modules having the exact same name. So this is called the Unlicensed Stabilized Vacuum Drive. This is the same exact module. This gives me 298 light years and 100% warp efficiency, same as this, but it's the exact same module. So I have 3 of these in technology and 3 of them in general, but it's the same exact module. So I wanted to make that distinction, that these are 6 separate modules for my shield, but in terms of my X-Class hyperdrive, I'm only using one hyperdrive module repeated basically 6 times. So that distinction will actually become more clear as I explain the entire process of how all of this works. Now, if you like, you can go and grab a pen and some paper so you can jot some stuff down. Important thing to note is that each upgrade module in the game has a corresponding module ID, or a module number, which you can really only get using the save editor, or you can open the save game, the raw save game file if you want, and look for that, but the save editor is actually much easier to work with. Now, to get that unique module ID, or the module number, all you need to do is right click on any upgrade module and go to item details. So for example, if I wanted to get the exact module number of this particular module, let me go into the save editor actually, because I need to show you how this works. So let me load my save, and let me go to my ship. So in order to get a specific module number, so for example this one right here, the one on to the right of my actual shield, all you need to do is right click on any module, go to item details, and here is the module ID, or the module number for this particular module. Alright, now essentially, as you can see, I have the 6 shield modules that I have are all different. So that was what was this, 90,000. So this module number is number 90,312. This is 15,652. This is 4410. And my other 3 are different as well. Now the thing is, each class for each technology has 99,999 module IDs, or module numbers. So if we could just round it up to 100K. So for example, the C class hyperdrive module have 100K modules. The B, A, S, and X class all have 100K modules each. Think of the module ID as the row in a very large Excel spreadsheet where this module exists. And each module in each class has a unique module ID or module number from 1 to 99,999. And it also has a specific name and obviously the specific stats attributed to it. And that is fixed for this particular module. So if I go back to my Starship Shield module, you can see that all six have different module IDs. If I go to my text slot, these are all different module IDs. This is number 27263, 76031, and 49016. Let me go back to my general. My hyperdrive, if I were to take a look at that, this is module number 50362. So I'm using 50362 for all 6 of my hyperdrive modules because I already know the stats of this hyperdrive module. It's 298 light years and 100% warp efficiency. Obviously, the only reason I'm using, there are likely a lot more than the 6 that I found for max stat shields, but I stopped looking after 6 because I'm pretty much maxed out. For the hyperdrive, I'm kind of forced to use just this one with the 298 light year. Let me show you the 298 light year hyperdrive range and 100% warp efficiency. There's a couple of other modules that I found where I am using just one, and I believe this is one also. So in my multi-tool, I have a band cadmium stabilizer, which is maxed out at 5% damage and minus 24% time to full power. But it's all the same module, so it's all named band cadmium stabilizer, and they all have the exact same stats. Let me go back to the save game editor. All right, so in order to use the same module ID for another ship or another multi-tool, all you need to do is go into your other ship. So let me go to my other exotic, which is my squid ship. Let me remove these because these are from previous testing. So we are going to set a specific module ID for a specific module that I want, that we already know the stats of. So we're going to add, let's add hyperdrive. So let's do that 298 light year hyperdrive with 100% warp efficiency. So we're going to go to technology, procedural. They are technically procedurally generated to a degree, but they are specific modules. And like I said, there's 100K of them for each class, for each technology. So we're going to add an illegal hyperdrive upgrade and save it. Now, when you do this, it will randomly assign you a module ID or a module number from 1 to 99,999. And I believe the save game editor basically runs a random number generator just to give you some random number between 1 and 99,999. So in order to set the specific module ID of the one that you already know the stats of, let's go back to my first ship. Let's get the ID or the module number. I'm going to copy that, Control C. Let's go back to my exotic. Item details. We're going to delete what's there, and we're going to just paste our module number that we already know the stats of. And all you have to do to save this is just X out of this window. So now if I go back, there's that module ID, there's that module number. So we're going to add this. We're also going to add, let's add this shield to my second chip. Item details. So let's just copy that. So this is unique. It's a unique module number that has specific stats. We're going to go to my other ship, add item, and the best thing about the editor is that it remembers the last thing that you added, which was the hyperdrive. That will come in handy later on when I show you how it all works. But we're going to add the deflector shield, and we are also going to set it to the one with the stats that we already know, which is 90,312. So let's exit out of that. Let's see, what else can we add? Do we want to put anything else from my first ship? Positron ejector, this was pretty good. This is one of the best ones that I found. 77292. Is that the same one that I'm using for everything? I don't remember. Yeah, it is. Okay, so we're going to go to second ship. Let's add that one too. So we're going to go illegal positron ejector. And we're also going to set it to the one where we already know the stats. All right, so I've added 3 distinctly unique modules from my first ship, but we already know the stats of these modules. So I should get the exact same stats, and I should have the exact same names of the modules here on my second ship. So let's save. And let's go back into my save game. And let's reload autosave. And let's see what we come up with. So once my game loads, we're going to go and check out my squid ship. And we're going to check out the 3 technologies. And we're going to compare them to what I have in my regular ship. So I should have the 298 light year hyperdrive, and I should have that 38% shield, starship shield. All right, so let me actually, before we do that, let's grab the name again, just so you kind of see what it is. So I actually grabbed this shield. So this was called the Outload Bionic Shield, 38% shield strength. I also grabbed, I only have one, so I grabbed this hyperdrive, which is called the Unlicensed Stabilized Vacuum Drive, 298 light years, 100% warp efficiency. And I believe I also grabbed the positron ejector. The stats are 18% fire rate, 20% heat dispersion, and 4% damage, and its name is Smuggled Ultraviolet Filament. So now let's go to my squid ship. And let's see what we have. And there's the exact same module. Hyperdrive 298, 100% warp efficiency, module name, Unlicensed Stabilized Vacuum Drive. My shield, 38% shield, exact same name, Outlawed Bionic Shield. My positron ejector, it's called the Smuggled Ultraviolet Filament. 18% fire rate, 20% heat dispersion, 4% damage. These are the exact same modules that I have in my first ship. Once I discovered that you can use the same module IDs across multiple ships and multi-tools, I then thought, okay, maybe the save game seed creates a fixed database when my game is initially created. So what's going to happen if I try out a brand new save with presumably a brand new seed? So I should get a brand new seed when I start a new game. So all I did was start a brand new game, go into my ship, get in and get out to create an autosave. And then I put in some of the same modules that I had from my first ship, because we already know the stats of those, and I put those in my radiant pillar. So let's see what happens. Let's go into my save editor. Let's load up my original. Actually, before I do that, let me see my ships. I think I already have these written down somewhere. If not, we'll just go back and forth. So let's open my brand new save, which I believe is this one. Ship. Yeah, this is my radiant pillar, and I think these are leftovers from my previous testing. So we can go back to my hyperdrive that I've already added. This is the 50,362 module. The positron ejector is the 77292, which is the same one as my regular ship, my regular save. And I've added the first three shields, which is what I had in my first ship. So this is the same one, 90,312 module. This is the 15652 module, and this is the 4410. I believe I also edited my multi-tool to add the Blaze Javelin, and this is the 67953. So 67,953. We'll check with the with my regular save on this one. So 67953 is this Blaze Javelin. I believe this is just an S class, but it's one of the better ones that I found. Let me load up my regular save, and let's go back to multi-tool. So this should be exactly the same, 67953. So that's that module. So I use the same exact module in my new save. And let's check my ship. These are the first three modules that I've added. So 77292. This is the same one. That's interesting. Oh, that's the positron ejector. Sorry about that. This is the 9312 shield. 15652. And the last one is the 4410. So it's the same exact numbers that I've used in my brand spanking new save when I created this. So 9312, 15652, and this should be the 4410. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna load up our brand new save and let's see what we get. So we're gonna quit to mode select, and I'm gonna load up my 9-minute brand new save. So let's see what we get. So now remember, this is a brand new game seed, which theoretically should have given me completely different module sets. Alright, here we go. It's my brand new save with my broken down pillar, radiant pillar. Let's see what we have. So we have our unlicensed stabilized vacuum drive, which is the same exact X-class module that we've seen in my previous save and previous ships. 298 light years, 100% warp efficiency. This is the smuggled ultraviolet filament, 18% fire rate, 20% heat dispersion, 4% damage. Same exact one, because it's the same exact module. And these three are named exactly the same. Outlawed Bionic Shield, 38% shield. Illegal Vector Buffer, 38% shield, and risky vector battery, 38% shield. So my brand new save with a brand new game seed, the save game seed, has the exact same module names and stats because I use the same exact module IDs or module numbers. The reason why all of this works is that it's basically a database that's fixed in the game. The only thing the save game seed impacts is the order with which you pull from this database of modules in each class. But there's only one database that we all pull from. So as a simplified example, maybe my save seed grabs module number 1000, number 2000, and number 3000, and so on. Your seed may actually start you at module number 90,000, and then grab 85,000, and then 80,000, and so on. But it's all pulling from the same fixed database which exists somewhere in the game files. So now that you understand how all of this works, how do you go about finding all these cool modules so now we can share with everyone? Well, there are three methods that I can think of. I've only used the first two with equal success. The second method is a little more tedious than the first, and I'll show you both. So let's get into my save editor. And let's open up my regular save. Let's go into my squid, and let's delete what we have here. I'm going to start from scratch. So this is how we find modules. Essentially, to start, you should have a clean 48 slot ship to get the best results because you have more modules to try and find. If you don't want to touch your existing ships, you can just and if you have less than 6 ships, you can just go to space station and buy the cheapest C-class ship, and you can just expand it out to test this out. But generally, your ships are going to come with some technology. All you need to do, as you saw me, right click on it and then delete item, and it'll just remove it. So you'll end up with 48 slots in general and 21 in your tech, and essentially you'll have 69 tries to try and get some pretty awesome modules. So let's try and find a better hyperdrive module than what we've already gotten, which is the 298 light year module, hyperdrive with 100% warp proficiency. So we're going to just add technology, procedural, and then we're going to go to hyperdrive. We're going to just add it, and then from here on out it's pretty easy because it remembers what you previously put. So all you need to do is press enter. So add item, press enter, add item, press enter. So this is basically what you would do to find the best modules in the game. And we can all share these modules now because these are fixed and everyone can have the same list that we all have. So let's quickly try and get through this. And then once I load the game, we're gonna look at what stats we have for these modules. Once we find these modules, we can either use the same module 6 times, or we can try and find multiple modules with the same stats, as I did with my Starship Shield. So I did find 6 of them. Like I said, those are pretty easy to find, or easier to find, because they only have one stat, and many times you could end up getting the max stats. It only took me a few hours to find the 38% shield. So I ended up finding 6 of them, and then I stopped looking because I maxed out my ship after that. So let's finish up this. And you can do this with any upgrade modules and get yourself whatever module ID you can get, and that'll be something that we can all share at this point. So let's save. Let's get into my game. Wait, did that save? I think it prompted after that. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's load my regular save. And let's go into my squid ship. This is my regular save. So we're gonna go into my squid ship. We're gonna look at all the modules that I've added, and we're gonna see if we can find one that has really good stats. Once we find that module, we're gonna go back into the save editor and grab that module number, that module ID. So these are the numbers that we can actually share with everyone else because everyone uses the same database. So that's actually one of the coolest parts about this. Alright, back to my regular save. Load my squid. And let's see what we have. So basically, if the module is good, we set it to the side. If it's bad, we are gonna discard it. Now, with hyperdrive, you're pretty much gonna get about 50% of all the X-class modules as just warp cell efficiency. I'm pretty sure it's probably higher rate than that, but all you're gonna get is warp cell efficiency. So we're gonna just discard these quickly as possible. Yep, there's another one. So as you can imagine, doing this 232, doing this within the game rules is pretty much impossible, especially with X class, because you're just not gonna roll anything with good stats. All of these, you're gonna see through these 69, I may end up with one or none. 218. So just to be clear, what I'm looking for is either 298 or better light years and 100% warp efficiency. So that's kind of my goal. I'd like to find something that is better than what I already have. And that way, if I can get something on screen, you guys can have that module ID too. And we can all share the wealth, as it were. 100% warp efficiency. You're gonna see a lot of those. 240, that actually would be an okay S-class, but that's not what we're looking for. 286. I'm gonna save this just for method 2. So this is the first method. Basically, we just add all of the modules in the save editor and we just go through this. I'm gonna say I'm not keeping this one, but I'll show you what to do with that one, and that'll lead into method number 2. So these are all pretty much gonna be junk. 264. 280. Some of these are okay, but not what we're looking for. If you actually rolled a 280 normally in the game with an X-class module, you'd be ecstatic, but as you can see, these are there are better things out there, and we're gonna get all of them. It's just a matter of time. $60 light years, yikes. That's barely a C-class. 60 light years. 85. 27. All right, so nothing really good so far. 100%. Oh, 288. That's actually not bad. So we're gonna save that for. This is better than this one. Yeah, it is. All right, so I'm keeping the other one. I'm only gonna keep this for the second method, because I have better modules than that. So once we're done with this, we'll quickly go through method 2. I won't do the entire 48. I'll just do maybe a single row of it, just so you can see what method 2 looks like. And then I'll talk about method 3, which would be ideal instead of doing it this way. Yep, more junk, and junk. All right, so we got one decent one out of it, but like I said, I'm not keeping this one. We're just gonna go into method 2 for that one. Also, technically these are ill-gotten gains, so I tend to destroy them. Just saying. Alright, so we got one decent one out of it. We're going to save. Don't forget to save, because then you end up, if you don't save, then you end up with a whole class, a whole ship full of modules, and you won't remember which one you had, which one was the decent one. So we're gonna go, yep, reload that. Gonna go to our ship, my squid ship, and now we're going to grab the module ID of this one. So this is 78647. So I'm not keeping this one, but we're gonna do method number 2 from here on out. So this is 78647. We're gonna go +5 and -5 from this. So my theory is, if you find a decent one within, I guess, 10, 20, or 30 plus or minus from that one, theoretically you might end up with the same or better. Like I said, I've tried both methods and I've had equal success with both. So we're gonna start with 78. Let's do 645. So 78645. So we're gonna delete this. So we're gonna install the hyperdrive, and then we're going to set it 78645. Hyperdrive. This is going to be 78646. So this one's a little more tedious because you actually setting the module ID to see if you can catch something in between, the good ones, or the decent ones. So we did 647. We already know the stats of, so we're going to do 648. Do 649 and one more. Let's do 650, and that's it. All right, so once you do this, now normally what I would do is I would do the entire 48 plus the tech, so it's 69. So I go 35 before and 35 after, give or take, from that one that you found that has decent stats. But anyway, this is method number 2, and let's see what we get. So we're gonna load our save game and see if we can get anything above the stats of that other one that we found. I think that was 288. So if we can get something a little better than that, within plus or minus a certain range from that, that would be method number 2. And we'll talk about method number 3 right after that. Hopefully we get something. And I actually haven't found any other hyperdrive module that's better than the one that I found. So it's been I found that one, and that was pretty much it. Alright, let's get my squid up. Alright, let's see what we get. 52, no. 100%, no. 100%, and 260, so that's a no. But I didn't do the full 69 modules, so maybe we would have ended up with something a little better. But anyway, this is method number 2, where you actually set the module ID to something specific within plus or minus a decent module, or one that's not quite there yet. Anyway, that's method number 2. So as far as the third method goes, I believe this would be the ideal method, and it would involve unpacking the game files to try and find this database of all the modules. Because let's be honest, no one is gonna go through this trouble of finding the best C class module or B or A class. Now, I don't have any experience unpacking game files, especially for No Man's Sky, but if no one picks up the mantle after this video, then I might just learn how to do that on my own and see if I can find the entire database myself. Now, in terms of the database, if you kind of do the math a little bit, each class has 100,000 modules, or 99,999. There are 5 classes, C, B, A, S, and X, so that's 500,000 modules for each technology times how many technologies are in the game. 20 maybe more. So 20 times 500,000 is 10 million. So the database itself, once found, should contain probably around 10 million modules. I'm not sure if maybe anyone has ever come across it. Maybe one of the modders for No Man's Sky may have come across it and didn't know what they had. I don't know. Speaking of modding, what this discovery also opens up is the possibility of modding upgrade modules. So if you think about it, if someone can create a mod that boosts your hyperdrive module by 1,000%, 1,000% is 10 times the module stat. So your 300 light year X class hyperdrive module can become a 3,000 light year module just for one. Times 6 modules, you're talking 18,000 light years in one jump, plus whatever the adjacency bonuses give you. So we can just round that up to 20,000 light years in one jump. Now, there is a point of diminishing returns on this, as on the galaxy map, it would take you a while to push through 20,000 light years in one direction. So for example, if a modder can boost your hyperdrive module by, let's say, 35,000%, making your 300 light year hyperdrive module go 105,000 light years each, theoretically you can go to the center of each galaxy in one jump with 6 of those modules. Unfortunately, how long would it take you to head towards the center of the galaxy just pushing W on the keyboard? 30 minutes probably. So it's not really practical. But if we had that little galaxy overview map in the upper left hand corner, if that was an interactive map where you could just click on any position in there, you can basically you can go 700,000 light years and it would make sense. Anyway, I'm curious to see where this discovery takes the community, if anywhere. Can someone find this database in the game files? Can someone attempt modding upgrade modules now? I have no idea. Honestly, I'd really like to see a central repository for these databases. Maybe Zane, if he watches this video, can maybe create a separate section on his website for this. I have no idea. Perhaps put what has already been found by me and perhaps by some of you guys out there that are going to try this, so that we can all share in the goods, essentially. Maybe we can all contribute to this repository. I don't know. So if you guys attempt finding anything better than what I have found, any better modules than I have found, please just share the module IDs down in the comment section. I'd really love to find that 300 light year 100% warp efficiency hyperdrive module. By the way, once you guys do get yourself all these modules that I'm gonna share with you guys, just do yourselves a favor and head to the nearest space station and buy yourself, you know, a dozen or two dozen S-class modules, and then just immediately discard them. That way you've spent your own nanites acquiring modules, and you can feel good about yourself and, you know, bring balance back to the Force, which is kind of all I'm trying to do after this video at this point. Also, it goes without saying that before you do anything with the save editor, you need to back up your save game first. Your save game is located in your C drive and under users, app data, roaming, hello games, NMS. So either copy that folder somewhere else, or if you have WinRAR or 7-zip, just zip up the entire folder and copy that somewhere else. That way, if you mess anything up, you can always just go back to what you had before, and you'll be safe that way. I'm also going to leave a link to goatfungus's No Man's Sky save editor on GitHub, so you can go and grab it. Alright, so that's all from me now. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.